Hey guys, how's it going? In this video we'll continue to work a little more on JavaScript. Sorry if my voice is a little low right now. I'm just coming from volleyball practice and I was screaming a lot. So sorry about that. But regardless, I'll do my best to explain all the content in this video. So in the last video, we talked a little bit about some syntaxes in JavaScript and some rules that you have to follow while writing code in JavaScript. And in this video, we'll be going a little more in depth into operators. It's a very important piece in JavaScript programming. I'll be showing you a little bit of shortcuts as well. And at the end, if we have time, we'll talk a little more on data types. So here it is. An operator, as we learned from last video, is basically you are assigning a certain mathematical operations to your numbers or strings. So if I have var a equals 5 and var b equals 6, then var c equals a plus b, and then if I print out c here, then that would give me 11. If I just do console log, and I will get 11. So that's basics of operators. That was addition. We can do subtraction, multiplication, division. Now what we can do here is I'll show a little trick here. Suppose you want to increment this value now here for a. You want to print out 6. So instead of just doing a equals a plus 1, that'll give us 6. See if I save it and go to my page and refresh it, that'll give me 6. There's a little shortcut to this. What I can basically do is I can do a plus plus, and that is pretty much the same as writing a equals a plus 1. That's a little shortcut that JavaScript has and most of the programming languages have. So if you do that, we'll probably get 6 as well. There you go. And the same goes for subtraction. If you subtract it, you will probably get 4. There you go. So that is some of the basics of operators. What you can also do here is, if you have something like this and you want to do something like x equals x plus 5, instead of doing x plus 5 times, what you can do is x. So if you want to do something like this, so that you want to get a value of 10, what you can basically do here is you can let's comment that out. You can just say a plus equals 5. So that would actually be the same as doing this. And now if you control save, go back to your browser, you will get 10. So, and that's the same for subtraction. You can add a subtraction, multiplication, division. It's pretty much alike. Now we'll be looking into a little bit of string operators. These are number operators. So let's just declare a variable called a equals like foo. Okay, that's a string. Now let's declare another variable called b equals boo, and var c would be a plus b. Okay, and if we print out c here, we should get foo and boo together. There you go. Now if we want to add space there, we can simply do double quotation here and then add plus sign there. This plus sign doesn't add these two string, it just concatenates them. So if we go to save, probably save foo and boo with a space in between. So that's how you add string operators, concatenates them. Also, a little bit of shortcut to it would be, so just like what we saw in the last video, in the last number sections, that we can simply do a plus equals boo. So what this is basically doing is, this is assigning a equals a plus boo, so that when we print out a, we'll actually get foo and boo together. So if I refresh this, I'll get foo and boo together. So we can do string operators. We can use operators with strings as well. Next thing I want to show you is adding strings and numbers here. In JavaScript, you can actually add string and numbers. So you have got var x equals 5 plus 5, and the output should be 10. Let's declare var y equals, let's add 5 plus 5, and var z equals high plus 5. Now we'll console log each of these and see what the output comes out. So console log y, console log z. Now Control S to save, and go to your web page and refresh. You'll get 10 for the first one. Yep, that's pretty self-explanatory. For y, you'll get 55. What this is doing is it's actually concatenating this number and string. It's not adding them. This is referred to as string. This is referred to as a number, as an integer value. It's not doing it. So then pretty much the same for z as well. It's actually a string and number. So to add, you can actually add numbers and strings together, but they'll basically display as a concatenated form, not like a adding integer form. And there are other things, other comparison operators as well. For example, you can use something like equal sign just to make sure that two values equal each other. So let's say if you have x is 10 and you just give var y equals 10 and to say var z equals, so what we can do here in console log is var x equals y, and if it equals, then we will get either true or false. It's actually a Boolean statement. We'll go over that in upcoming video. But if you go to files and save, and it is pretty 10, so we should get something like true here. If this was 11, let's just say, and files and save, not save as, save, we'll probably get false because those are not equal to each other. There is less than or greater than sign as well. If y is less than or greater than or equal to sign, there is something called is not equal to. That's an exclamation and then double equal to. So if these two are not equal, then you return true value, which in this case we should get a true value because 11, 10, x and y do not equal each other. So these are some of the comparison operators that we have. You don't have to memorize all of this, guys. I'm just giving you a heads up on what we have. You just have to know that it exists. Later on you can use it. And something else that we can use is called logical operators. And logical operators is basically it just has its own different syntaxes like and, or. So double and is called an and. Double vertical line is called or, and then this is called not, so that's false. So we use this here, and then say if. So these are much more used in if statements and loops. I'll show an example of this in a later video when we talk about logics in programming, but you shouldn't have to get much hold of this right now. So what you need to learn is about these shortcuts that I showed you, that x plus plus, no, x plus 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 plus, or x plus, or like y plus equals 5 or something, so that when you see them when we code in the upcoming video, you're not lost. So if I console log x and console log y here, I should get 11 here for x and 16 for y. So let's check it out. There you go, 11 and 16. So that's what logical operators, that's what operators and logical operators, and a little bit about comparison operators in this video. The second thing that I wanted to go over is called data types. And what we did here is we declared a data type called integer. So JavaScript have a lot of data types that you can declare. The first is numbers. We have done this before. Second is strings. Third is objects. We've got arrays as well. There are a lot more data types in JavaScript. Just have to remember number, strings, objects a little bit, and array. These four are the most important ones. So every programming language has a certain data type, and if you're storing some value in a variable, let's just say 16 here, so that 16 is a number data type. That's how you should remember. If I store var y equals hello, I'm storing hello and y variable in my string data type. What an object looks like is you can actually pass in multiple of values in an object. So let's just say for a equals first name, I can pass in Sashir, and then last name. Last name is Curie. So that's what an object looks like. We'll get more into object in a later video, but these are all data types that we're passing in here. And now if I have to access, let's just say first name from A, I'll just go to a dot first name, and I should get Control S to save, and I should get Sashir. There you go. So we can pass in a lot more in here. We can pass in numbers and objects. Is actually a very advanced concept. We'll deal with that during object-oriented programming lessons. But for now, you just have to remember numbers and strings very well. And that's pretty much it for this video. And you can, of course, declare decimals and stuff. That comes under numbers. Feel free to do that. And in the next video, we'll be writing our first program. We'll be converting. We'll be using all of our knowledge that we have learned, and I'll give you a certain formula to convert from Celsius to Fahrenheit, and we'll be writing a simple program where we'll convert a certain Celsius value to Fahrenheit and Fahrenheit to Celsius from what we have learned. So I want to get that done in the next